Welcome to Two Growlers, a show for craft beer drinkers like you, by craft beer drinkers like you. Brought to you by Beerploma, LLC. Check out our website at beerploma.com for more information about us.
Thank you, Lynn. Everybody, welcome back to episode number 7 of Two Growlers. It's October out right now. The nights are getting long, the days are getting short, and it's definitely getting colder. Have any of you guys seen snow for the first time here yet this year yet?
A few flakes.
A few flakes, yeah.
Snowing outside the office.
Good. So we're here to talk to you guys about some of the great beers that we got to sample when we were at the Bent Brewstillery. So we'll talk a little bit more about the beers later. First, let's introduce our guest star, Chris. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Two Growlers.
Nice to be here.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
So, Chris, what brings you here today? Which of these 3 beers?
The Belgian specifically brought me here today. It's
Okay.
kind of my thing. I really like Belgian, so I'm looking forward to trying that one out.
I'm actually, I'm kind of the beer geek, and you know this, and you were probably, this is a high compliment when I say this, is that you are probably the one person I know that knows more about Belgians than I do. So by far and away, I'm glad you could be here to be our expert on that. And I hope you enjoy the other 2 beers too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really did too. So before we get on into our beers here, we do have some upcoming events to talk about. Also, we have a special deal for you guys out there from Brew City Gear. Just go to www.brewcityonline.com, and if you enter our promo code Beerploma, all in lowercase letters, you'll get a 20% discount, and that's good until January 31st. And all orders over $75 have free shipping. Schell's has some new beers coming out. They have their new Star of the North series, their Framboise du Nord. They also have a new one called Fresh Hops, which is their really hopped up IPA. And Stag No. 8 Collaboration Series is also going to be hitting shelves here in the first weeks of November. Visit www.shellsbrewery.com for more information. Herkimer also has a list of events out there. They have a couple new beers coming out. The first one is their Pumpkin Porter, which will be tapped on Halloween. And then Baraboo Nitro Pumpkin Ale, tapped on November 8th. Visit www.herkimer.com for more information on those. So let's before we get on with the beers here, one last thing we'd like to do, we want to bring back our Gadget of the Week. And so our first Gadget of the Week was brought to you by Brew City Online, who we talked about earlier. And this is their Here for the Beer sweatshirt, which is really nice. I got to test this out last weekend. I took it up to a cabin with me, and it kept me definitely warm. But what makes this a great beer gadget here is the fact that it's got a pouch right here that's made just for beers, and it's actually lined in there, so it will actually keep your belly from getting cold, and it'll keep your beer cold while it's in that pouch too. So I mean, it was a real great thing. I also found it real handy to hold my cell phone too in there. So make sure you guys visit www.brewcityonline.com, and don't forget about that promo code. That's Beerploma in all lowercase letters, and get your 20% discount off these sweatshirts. Hey guys, for those of you guys following our podcast, we just recently had a little adventure out to Bent Brewstillery, which is currently housed at the Pour Decisions Brewery. And we got to meet with their head brewer, Bartley, who is an amazing brewer and just has some really great stories to tell. So if you haven't seen that podcast yet, or if you haven't seen that on YouTube, go back into our channel and find that one, and it was a really good treat. He was generous enough to give us a couple of his beers here, so we're going to be talking about his 2 beers that should be hitting shelves right around the time this show airs. You should start seeing it at, I think he said MGM, and what was the other one that Haskell's, and a couple other places too. So hopefully you guys will be able to start partaking in these beers too. So we're going to start with those, okay? Well, one of the great themes that I loved about Bent Brewstillery, and he reminded me of one of my favorite breweries that I fell in love with back when I was starting to get into craft beer. He brews what he likes, and he doesn't stick to styles. So you're going to notice that he has an amber blonde ale and an American imperial stout that we're going to be trying here. So he doesn't even like to stick traditional names to his beers, and so I love that about it, and it breaks the definition of what a style should be, and he's not looking to win awards. He just wants to brew good beer that we're all going to enjoy. So let's dig into his Nordic Blonde here, and let's see what we have. Okay, so here's the Nordic Blonde. It's 5.7 ABV. And like I said earlier, it's an amber blonde, so it's kind of mixing the best of both worlds of an amber and a blonde. You can definitely see that in the color. It's not really a deep dark red, but it's not really a golden either. I'm getting a nice wine grapey aroma out of it, maybe even a sour apple-ish aroma.
Yeah, I taste kind of, or smell a maltiness, almost like a Pilsner.
Yeah, it would be a good sauce hops type aroma.
Yeah.
It's crisp, it's clean, it doesn't linger.
Light.
It does have kind of like a nice nutty maltiness to the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn, what do you think?
That's good. I like, apparently I like blondes. I could drink a lot of this.
Don't we all like blondes?
I love blondes.
You married one.
Yeah, well, my favorite beer is a Belgian blonde, and I have to say, this amber blonde is, I'm sorry?
No,
It's the amber blonde is fantastic.
You just can't pick between redheads and blondes. Yeah, nice, good mouthfeel, nice clean finish. So
Is this one the Nordic blonde?
this is the Nordic
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
And he said that was a perfect name for Minnesotans. So plenty of carbonation to it, but not overwhelming to take away from the flavor. Well, now we're going to go to the opposite. Now we're going to go to her Dark Fatha. The blonde's Dark Fatha.
Alright, let me get in there. Hold on a second.
They say once you go stout, you've come about.
Alright,
You know when
go.
you're ready.
Yep.
Oh. Wow, great dark foam on that.
Okay, so now we're on to Bent Brewstillery's second beer, and this is their American Imperial Stout, Dark Fatha, and I gotta love the label. It's Darth Vader dressed up as a pimp. Speaks to our inner geek. It's just a beautiful inky black. I'm holding my glass up to the light, and no light is escaping it. So if you want a beer that is turned to the dark side, this is definitely the beer. So great thick foam, or thick foamy brown head. Good toasty aroma to it. Somewhere in between coffee, and chocolate for me. What are you guys getting out of that?
I can smell the coffee and chocolate both.
Yeah, it's like right in between.
Yeah, for me it's a real light aroma, a little like, I hate to make the reference, but Guinness, it's just real light, not strong.
Well, I think it's more flavorful than Guinness. I'm gonna have to dispute that point, because Guinness, when I get it, it's this clean. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. It's like a factory taste. Where this, I'm actually feel like I'm walking into a coffee shop here.
This does have a lot more flavor.
Yeah, definitely. When I taste that, I get the flavor. Yeah.
But what surprises me the most is that this is a 9.3, and we're drinking this beer at about 41 degrees right now, and I'm not tasting any alcohol. This is a 9.3. I mean, how many of you guys drink a 9.3 beer and don't taste the alcohol in it? I mean, I could sit down and get plastered off of these just because of the fact that I don't know how much of this I'm drinking. It's just super smooth, and the mouthfeel isn't too heavy and cloying.
How do you know it's 41 degrees? It feels like it's about 25 degrees in here.
41.
But that's 41
That's
right there.
Fair enough. Actually, the temperature gauge is on the other side. Hey, back on to the beer, guys. So what do you guys think about this one?
I like it.
I think they've really handled the ABV fantastically.
Yes.
To your point, I can't stress it enough that there is no alcohol warming on the mouth. It doesn't taste astringenty. And real surprising light flavor given the ABV.
Yes. Yeah, but still plenty of flavor.
Yes. Yeah, they balance the flavor and the high alcohol content very well.
Well said.
I have a question regarding the style.
Okay.
American Imperial. What's meant by
Well,
Imperial?
Bartley is the kind of guy who just doesn't like to be defined by style. So there are things he did to this beer that make it slightly different from a traditional imperial stout. Like Yeti would be like the classic example from the Great Divide Brewing, which is just this real thick, inky blackness. You drink one and you feel full forever. Where this, you can drink. It really takes over, like the Empire from Star Wars does. So that's the reason why he gave it the name. So,
But wouldn't you say he's rebelling against tradition making this?
Good energy there. So, if you guys didn't get that Star Wars reference, I'm sorry.
A point on a standard imperial stout. Would that be a stout that uses higher or more hops because of traditionally the shipping that would be involved with shipping a stout for preservation?
Yes and no. I see where you're coming from on that one, but stouts traditionally don't rely on the hops a whole lot for flavor, and so even imperial stouts, like again that Yeti from Great Divide, doesn't have a whole lot of stout or hop presence in it. So maybe traditionally back when, and how imperial stouts got their name is because of the fact that people from Great Britain were brewing it and they were shipping it over to the Tsar over in Russia, and that's how it got the imperial name on it. Mm-hmm. So they probably did hop the beers a little bit more back then to make that journey over to what's now Moscow. So, but now that's not necessarily the case. When you tack imperial or double, it means that you're adjusting the ABV from its normal set of ABV. It doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything with the hops.
Good info.
Thanks for asking the question.
It definitely is very smooth for being
It's
over 9%.
extremely smooth.
And I don't know about you, but I'm now getting kind of a bacony maple flavor on it, which is amazing. I hope you guys are getting the same.
I can see where you're coming from on that flavor. I don't know if I would necessarily label it as such.
How would you quantify it?
Smoky.
Smoky? Yeah.
Smoky. And it's
yes.
definitely in the aftertaste. I'm catching a little bit of that smoke.
Yeah, yeah. As it lingers on my tongue and going back for, additional sips, that's where I'm getting that smokiness.
Nothing good with bacon.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, stouts, ask Andy back here who's filming our camera, or who's filming for us tonight, that stouts are the best of breakfast beers.
Oh, for sure.
Chicken.
So our last beer for the night is St. Whatshername by Pour Decisions, and this is bottle number 234 out of 250. Now, how we kind of came across this bottle is, if you guys didn't catch it earlier, Bent Brewstillery is actually brewing in Pour Decisions facilities. And so while we were there, they were bottling this, and I just went up to them and I asked, hey, you guys want to feature this one on our show? And they handed me over a bottle. So thank you guys, thank you to the team at Pour Decisions for donating this bottle to our show. We were really looking forward to this one, I think, hands down. I think you came just for this beer. So.
I came out specifically for this beer, so thank you.
So we cracked open the bottle already, and now on their website, they term this beer as funky. It does still smell funky, but it's a good funk. I mean,
Does it remind you of anything you've ever smelled before?
almost like a pine tree for me. I'm getting a good piney taste smell out of it.
I'm getting that real traditional Belgian, spice, the clove, orange peel.
Am I getting a little bit of mint out of that? Who knows, must be plugged.
It's cool.
Wow, there's a lot of flavor in there. There is a ton of flavor in this beer. It is running the gamut of everything. It's nice and fruity, but smooth. It has a little bit of that Belgian taste that I'm used to tasting from other Belgian triples and doubles, but it's so much better.
A lot more fruity than any Belgian.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's much more fruity, and oh my darling, is that clementine orange that I taste?
Well, according to their description, you should be tasting pear drops, hay, clementine oranges, so there you go, pineapple, pepper, and spice. About the only one of those that I'm not really getting in the forward taste is the pepper, but I kind of see where they get the pepper in the aftertaste.
Yeah, traditionally when I taste a Belgian, I get a lot of that clove, that orange peel, that spice flavor to it. And I have to say with this one, I'm not getting as much, but I find it to be more accessible. If I was to introduce somebody to a Belgian, I would put this in front of them.
Now, I can't say that Belgians are my favorite style, but this is a Belgian I would drink regularly. This is an excellent Belgian. I mean, this might go down in my book as a 5-star beer. I mean, I am like that close to naming this one of the best beers I've ever drank in my entire life. And that is saying a lot. So I mean, this is just a delicious, eye-opening beer. I mean, it hits you, but in all the right ways.
I'm with you on that because traditionally I don't drink Belgians very often either, and they're not my favorite, but I do like them once in a while. But this one is different and better than most that I've had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm getting a very citrus, like bubbly, kind of an exciting lemonade.
Yeah, that's the word. That's what I was looking for. Kind of like a lemonade type flavor.
Yeah. It's very bubbly, very exciting on my palate.
Yeah, not cloying, and that's that's a word I use to describe a lot of Belgians. Is cloying. It just an overabundance of this real thick spiciness, where I'm not getting any of that in this. I mean, this is just it's good and fruity, and I mean, I can't say enough good things about this beer. This is just delicious.
Yeah, no, this one really just it hits you with a lot of great, exciting, fresh, citrusy flavors, and really backs up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is beautifully put together. This is probably one of the best beers I've ever drank. Period.
And not to say that for a Belgian drinker like myself that I don't find this exciting. There's a lot this one offers that I enjoy. The fact that I could actually sit and enjoy a full glass of this. To your point, it's somewhat difficult to do with most Belgians, but this one...
This one I could drink the whole bottle. I could drink the whole bottle of this.
Yeah, well, given the alcohol volume, you may not want to drink the whole bottle.
Yes,
which is another fantastic thing about Belgians.
This is a 9.0% ABV Belgian triple. It's made with 3 strains of Brettanomyces, and that's a yeast commonly used in Belgium since the 19th century that adds that funky flavor that Belgians are famous for. Guys, this is a limited release. It's available only at the brewery. It's probably going to be gone by the time we air this show, so mark your calendars for October of next year. And this is not one you want to miss. However, call up the brewery, see if they've got any left. You never know. So here's to you guys at Pour Decisions for brewing one of the best beers I think that was ever drank on this show. So here's to you guys. Prost.
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 Okay, guys, so that's the end of our show, so I hope you guys go out there and get to try some of these beers here. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to please leave us a comment on our Facebook or YouTube page, and if you like this video, click that little like button. That means a lot to us. We're available on podcast directories everywhere, including iTunes, BlackBerry, Miro, and also on YouTube. See you next time. Prost. Out in the tractor.